Internet Web Plain Talk. I'm Norman Liss, and this program is dedicated to clarifying the mysteries and the wonders of the Internet and the World Wide Web. And our clarification path takes us today to people from the Westchester and Fairfield business journals who have been reporting on the Internet Web, and we're going to learn some of the things that they have learned and some of the places that they think it's going. My guests today are Dee DelBello, who is the publisher, and Holly Rosenkrantz, who is covering the subject for the papers, and I welcome you both here. So let's sum it up from your perspective, from where you are right now. What is the state of the Internet today? Where is it?
I think from a business perspective, there still needs, it's not yet fully established. What I've seen is that everyone feels the need to be on the Internet. They have a sense that it's important, and they're afraid of being left behind. Mm-hmm. But they know they're not making money off of it yet. People aren't visiting their sites as much as they'd like it to. There isn't even maybe a full understanding of what it is from the people in charge, but there is definitely a sense that it's really important.
Holly,
it's still in a state of confusion.
I have to say that Holly, you've just summed up everything that I hope we get answered on the program. So
sorry.
Don't be sorry, because I think that really sums it up beautifully, and certainly from my perspective, that's where it is. And yet, within the last few months, 3-4 months, you decided, Dee, that the Business Journal would start doing rather intensive coverage of the subject. What prompted you to do it at this time?
Because we just felt this confusion and tremendous interest in the Internet and information, and that we had to do something about it. We are a communicator and purveyor of information, if you will, and we felt that we had to be there informing our readers as to what was happening. And as we were gathering information, Holly is the one. She's all over the place with all the information more than I. I'm learning from Holly and from the feature. We felt it was our obligation to do something about it.
It's interesting.
In fact, I think we were late. Excuse me.
Late.
Getting out there. Yes.
Well, why do you say that? Is there such a thing as being late?
Well, I think in another year, I heard one woman say at a technology fair that I attended recently, I said the same thing. I said, is it ever going to be late? She said, well, not this year, but if next year, you may be late. Because she said it is happening so fast.
But what's happening? That's the key. What's happening? I've said it on this program many times. Today, you measure an era in months. So
seconds almost.
Almost seconds. It's even taking it at a faster pace. So is it too late to jump on to this locomotive that's rushing along at a great speed? If you'd been in it, as some people have been when the Internet first started years ago, are they any further advanced than people who are getting on today? I know, and we're going to get into this, that you are in the process of developing your own website. Is it too late? I don't think so. And the question that we'll get into is why now, and why do people feel that they should be getting on now? But I want to get into your coverage. You're calling it Hot Links, and it's a great name, and I think it's terrific because the subject is hot, and linking people together is what it's all about. What are you covering in your Hot Links section?
Well, first of all, it's all business oriented.
Sure.
And it's geared towards, or we're gearing it towards business people, not Internet people. It's not like a Internet magazine read by insiders. I'm seeing it as anybody who's just in business and has a sense that the Internet is important could read this. I'm kind of for regular people. So sometimes it's Internet news. If a unique new Internet type of business has started, we might write about it. Mm-hmm. Other times to look at issues around the Internet that affect any everyday business people. We did a story about how to find jobs over the Internet and who's using it on a local level. Right. I mean, that's something that anyone could read.
Sure.
But the key is that it's always local.
But you're talking about business users. Actually, there are two classifications of business users: those who provide information and those who obtain information. I had a telephone call the other day from someone, and he said, I found your name while I was surfing on the net, and it related to a subject that I'm interested in, and I'd like to get some more information from you. Now, because I had put a message out there on this subject, someone found me. He didn't know that I existed, but he looked in this subject and he found my name. It's a wonderful means of communication. I don't have a website, and yet someone came to me to get some input. So there are other people who get information as well as the people who provide information. And you're serving both of those, aren't you?
Exactly. And that is sometimes difficult when we're writing it and putting it together, because we'll get calls from people who are really into this and are so ahead of what the average person is, and said, oh, you absolutely have to be covering this latest development, or how come you haven't covered that development? And then we'll get people on the other end who don't even know the language, but they want to know about the internet. So.
You don't have to be a techie to be on the internet, do you?
No.
You don't have to know anything, especially with the servers like America Online, AT&T, CompuServe, Prodigy. They're all in there. They make it so easy. All you have to do is to click on it, and you're on. It's as simple as that. And there are so many other servers around that are providing the service without any difficulty. The departments, the sections you have various columns that are regular features. Let's go into that. Cyber briefs. What is cyber briefs?
That was started because after we started running the pages a few times, we got so many announcements, calls about various happenings in the area that are related to the internet. Mm-hmm. And again, there's just not enough space to cover every single one, but yet there's so much going on that we thought that was the best way to respond to that.
And the business web directory?
That you're more involved in that, and was that's
the listing? That's the listing of various places that you could go to. So the question, I suppose, to viewers is, if you have information and you think that the Business Journal might be interested in it, how does one get in touch with you? What's the best method? We have so many means of communication at our disposal today, from snail mail, regular mail, or to zip. Any
phone you can call, or you can email me. I check my email every day. It's
What's your email address?
102. It's a CompuServe address. It's 102-616.2372@CompuServe.com. Actually, I even got some email messages. People complained about my email address because they thought I was giving unfair advertising to CompuServe by having a CompuServe address listed in the paper. And then you can just call me with a story idea. Or
what's the telephone number?
It's 914-694-3600 and extension 3006.
Fine. So you are interested in hearing from people with anything that they have about any involvement with the internet?
Absolutely.
How about story ideas?
Story ideas, happenings, complaints, thoughts, anything like that is good.
So what are you getting? What kind of a response are you getting since you started it?
This has been it's been wonderful. It's been the only feature from which we have received so many responses from the first time it ran.
Why?
We were just talking about
Why,
that.
Dee?
Because it's hot. It's a hot subject.
Why are people, we started on this, why are people rushing to get their own website, companies I'm talking about, when, as you said in answer to the first question, nobody's making money off. Yeah, the people are making money who are providing services, but they haven't quite figured out how to make it profitable.
Nobody knows yet, but they do know that it is going to, at some point, become profitable. It's just like cable. When cable first started in the early 50s, people were rushing to get onto cable, or buying, entrepreneurs were buying local cable stations and so on. Nothing was happening. Nothing did happen for many years. And now all of a sudden.
Does it work for small businesses as well as for giants?
In what way? You mean advertising for
being on the internet?
we don't know that. That's still a question that can't be answered.
Yeah, no, I agree with you.
It's a big question.
I think the sense I've gotten is that small businesses might be a little bit behind generally than the larger companies, but they too feel that they need to get on there and just have a presence. I guess they see it as advertising.
It's like peer pressure.
Yeah.
Just got to be on there. Got to have.
But there's no evidence right now that it's valuable. I was talking to a restaurant man who has a site on the web, local, and he has a coupon that you get $5 off on your meal. He says, I'm getting a lot of hits, which means people are looking at his site, but very few coupons are being redeemed. So here we are. People have found the site. They see it, but they're not redeeming the coupons. He's offering them $5 in cash, and yet people are not redeeming them. So it's so nebulous out there. Are there any ways that you see in your reporting that people can improve what they're doing?
I think there's a couple ways. Make it very graphic, eye-catching. Gear it. The people that I think that are surfing the web are just regular people. They're not the technical types. And if you have a site on there that is maybe eye-catching and easily accessible, that you might grab some attention that way. Mm-hmm. I think that's really the key. There is that more and more people are just getting on it because they are afraid it's going to be like a personal computer almost, where if they don't know it, they'll just have basic skills that they're lacking. And so if you can just grab someone's attention who's just fiddling around, that's the best way.
I see 3 specific things that you have to do if you have a website. Number one is you got to get people to come the first time. Build it and they will come. No, it doesn't happen. There's too much out there.
That's right.
So you have to get people to come. Second of all, what you've got to do is get them to come back. And third, you've got to get them to take whatever action you want them to do to make the sale, to get them to come to what you're offering. Whatever it is, you've got to get them to take an action. Otherwise, all you have is a presence. No matter how many times you can have 1 million people a day, but if you're only a presence and you're not asking for the order in some way and getting the order, whether you're selling something or not, then it's not accomplishing anything.
That's right. And the competition is fierce for that surfer's attention. There was a Coopers and Lybrand. Did we cover that survey in which it said close to $500 million a year is spent by users just to gain information, to learn about the Internet, and that most of the time spent on the Internet is taken from TV time. And these are just regular people. So that's the question.
Is the Internet an entertainment medium? Is it, instead of being a couch potato who sits and watches the TV set all evening, have people taken that time and now are sitting at another screen and surfing, like surfing the television set, surfing the Internet?
Yes.
I think it's a little of that, but there's also, I see it becoming almost like a little, I mean, this is cliched, but like the virtual world that people talk about, because when you were talking about the presence thing before, so many people have said they don't care even if people aren't making money yet off of it. They need to have a presence on it, because if not, they don't exist. In a way, on television, you don't have to advertise to exist. You advertise because you want, to see profits. But there are companies that said it gives them legitimacy. If they don't have a website or, that they can put on their business card, it's almost as if they're small potatoes.
But they haven't made it.
Yeah.
It's almost like today you rarely see a letterhead or a business card that doesn't give a fax number as well as a telephone
That's
number.
Right.
And you're seeing more and more of them that now have some sort of an email address on there, or a website if they have it.
Yeah.
But what you're saying is having it is stature.
Exactly, in that.
Is it false, though? Is stature a good enough reason to do it?
I think think.
Well, excuse me, Holly,
Yeah.
but I think initially it may be stature.
Yeah.
But I think down the road, it's going to be absolutely a necessity.
How far down the road, Dee?
No one knows.
Nobody knows that. It's probably, right around the corner. But everything's going to be interactive, and we're going to be able to do everything just from our home, from the screen. Television is interactive. Telephone calls, all of that. It's mind-boggling what it's going to be like already.
From your perspective and from your reporting, do you get the feeling that everybody wants to be on?
I think everybody does want to be on, and there's been companies that I've spoken to where they've gone through they're a lot just to get on there, but they don't really, they're not there yet, and there's been a variety of bumps and mishaps, and they're frustrated, and there's people that have said, this thing isn't going to do anything for me anyway, why am I going through that? But they know they have to. On a day-to-day basis, I don't know if there's any kind of result, just by being there, but I think it's fear for down the road.
There's a crescendo happening.
A crescendo.
Yeah, all of a sudden we could see it. When you asked us before, why now? Because we just couldn't wait any longer. There was just so much discussion, so many questions.
I want to get
right.
into specifically about your approach to your own website and what's happened. But first, I do want to remind our viewers that we're talking today with Holly Rosenkrantz and Dee DelBello of the Business Journals of Westchester and Fairfield. And the subject is their section, which is devoted to the Internet and the World Wide Web. Dee, before we get into the search for a proper way for your own website, what about the future of the print media? Do you think it's going to disappear completely, or it's going to change? Of course, it's changing all the time. Television has made a big change in print. Do you see a man I heard speak not too long ago with a telephone company said that long-distance telephones will no longer exist in the future because people will be linked. Mm-hmm. Everybody will be linked by the web.
Yes.
Do you see that print media will disappear?
I don't think the print medium will disappear. I think it will change. I think it'll become even more niche than it is today. Mm-hmm. And I think that your dailies may suffer a little bit more than your weeklies or monthlies, but there will always be a need for print.
So let's now get into your search and how you're proceeding and your own personal experience of what's happening with your own website.
Well, we had a number of consultants call us who wanted to help us get onto the Internet, design our website. We've been going on the discussion. I remember early on, maybe 3 or 4 years ago, when our editor-in-chief said, "You got to do something, got to get online." Now it's 4 years later, mm-hmm. and many, many consultants later, that we're moving forward, and we will be designing our website. But we got a lot of proposals from consultants, some that involved a great deal of money, and some that just involved partnering.
Can you give some advice from your own experience on the pitfalls, the direction to go, how to get a website, just based on your own experience? I'm not asking for specific names of people, but what do you have to look for in determining how you're going to do a website and who's going to do it for you?
Well, I think that you have to be realistic about your ambition for the website. And once you've arrived at the realism, then you should interview a number of consultants and see what your particular need, how your particular needs are filled by the individual consultants. You don't need to spend a great deal of money.
You don't?
No.
What's a great deal of money?
Well, multi-thousands, tens of thousands.
Do you have any idea of how inexpensively it can be done?
Well, there are a number of consultants who would partner with you, and so
what does that
it could
mean?
Partner with you on programming. If you are a sales-oriented company, you might do some joint sales. It depends on your company, so that there's joint ventures in all businesses today, Norm, so you can joint venture even on your web.
Do you have any idea of what your website is going to consist of? Is it going to be Gannett has a website that they've been doing for some time now, which actually gives some of their daily newspaper plus some other sources. Do you have any idea of where yours is going to go?
Well, we grappled with that for a long time because we said, well, if we give all our scoops, why would anybody buy our newspaper? But you can't put a complete newspaper on the website. So what we're thinking of is just some provocative bites relative to our weekly newspaper that would draw readers to our paper. Or what we may do is concentrate on our record section with some interesting segments from that section.
Explain what your record section is.
Our record sections cover all the legal transactions and deeds and court matters within each county, Fairfield and Westchester
You found
County.
that to be a very valuable service over the years.
Yes. If our readers go to the record section first and to Hot Links page when it's running, then they're very interested in matters that concern court matters and that concern networking and concern sales and so on. So that may be a very interesting subject matter, and we're thinking about that for our website.
Do you see your website as a moneymaker?
No, we hope that it will draw people and interest people enough to buy subscriptions to our paper, but initially I don't think so. We will use our page as a value added for our advertisers, and we'll just charge a certain, nominal fee to
So you will provide advertising.
Our advertisers' opportunity to appear on our web.
So that will be a source of income in one way, but basically you see
Perhaps,
it as
but
a service.
There are costs involved. We as you get on into the program and online, you're going to need a staff person. We're going to have to update that information all the time, so it gets more and more involved, and your costs accelerate. I don't know what our final costs are going to be.
And you don't know what tomorrow is going to bring as far as where the web is going to go. But you feel as if you have to be on there, don't you?
Yes.
You say you started thinking about it 4 years ago, and here you are 4 years later, and you still haven't got a website.
It takes that long.
Is it going to take longer?
No. We hope to be on in a couple of weeks.
Is there something that the consultants are not giving you that you feel perhaps is lacking from people who are in the business and who are offering their services and yet are not providing to potential users, potential clients? What would you like to see?
The consultants have been very, very competent, but the decision is ours. And as
why is it hard to make a decision? I'm not saying about why is it hard for you. Why is it hard for someone who wants to develop a website, who's talking to consultants, to make a decision? What's the barrier?
Well, in our particular case, just what we were discussing before, what do we put on our home page that will draw that surfer to our page?
And you haven't determined that yet?
Well, there's so many different options. We can't do all of them, so...
How do you isolate the ones you want to do?
That's the question. That's what we're grappling with at the moment. We think we're coming close to a decision. And it may be just little provocative bites from a number of our sections in the newspaper.
So content is a very important thing and a factor in what you're doing. Is this reflected in your reporting when you're talking to people? Do you see the same sort of thing, that people are indecisive because they don't know where to go?
Well, it's a whole different medium. I mean, the way you read a computer screen is different than when you pick up a piece of paper and can fold it and bring it places with you. So that, whereas people are used to knowing how to run their business or how to put things in the paper or whatever it is they do, when they're looking at how they're going to take their company and get it on a computer screen, whether it's selling or whatever it is they do, it's difficult to decide the different elements, and there's people who study this and say people want this or that from the internet. They even aren't sure yet. I mean, I know I'm working on a story about the internet, publications going on the internet, and some editors have found that you can't take a computer screen with you on the bus. and so just you can't have a very complex story
Has to
scrolling over a computer screen.
I find as a result of doing this program that people come to me, and because I have nothing to sell, that I am an objective viewer, and they're asking, like I'm asking you, they say, what do you see? What do you see as the greatest need for people who want to get into the internet and want to get on? Can you sum it up in a few words?
The greatest need
The greatest need that the potential customer has.
Easy information that's easy to consolidate. The advantage I see of the internet is that you don't have it's convenience. You don't have to go to a lot of different libraries or a lot of different books
yes.
to pull it all together. So I think what a consumer needs is the ability to just punch in a few keywords and have all the information there. They don't have to go searching for it.
Easy access is a key to it. It must be very, very difficult in reporting to get people to be responsive to you because of this loose feeling about where it is and what it is, and how do you get a handle on it in your reporting, and how do you turn it all around into something? I don't think we're going to solve it today. As a matter of fact, I know we're not going to solve it today because we've run out of time.
Okay.
And I do thank you both for coming here. It's been very enlightening to hear from you your perspective on what's happening and your perspective on the problems you're going through. I'm Norman Liss. This program is Internet Web Plain Talk. My guests today have clarified what it is as far as the business journals of Westchester and Fairfield are concerned. I thank you for viewing, and keep trying, because we're going to get there someday.
Thanks, Norm.